To be associated with both is to be able to see both together, and hence to be able to see that both are just one. Both sustain each other. The fact is, none of them can stand in isolation. A woman is not always a woman. A woman becomes a woman the moment she thinks of a man. A woman becomes a woman the moment a man crosses her. Otherwise, she is not a woman. She is just consciousness, free of identity. A man, too, is simply his attentiveness. But the moment a woman crosses him, he becomes a man.
The woman is the more oppressed of the two. Once the revolution begins, obviously man too will be liberated. But just as woman gives birth to the man, woman will also need to give birth to the freedom of man. Man will not be able to give birth to his own freedom. Freedom too will be born out of woman. That does not seem to be happening. Woman remains terribly body identified. And that which you call as modernity or liberation or even feminism is unfortunately even more body centric. It's just that now the body centricity is a little hidden. There is only one way to go beyond the body, and that is the way of truth, the way of spirituality.
By putting women upon a pedestal, you only reinforce their femininity. When you put the tolerance and the adaptability of women as a virtue, then you only ensure that they become more feminine. You are praising what is essentially their curse. The woman is fettered. She cannot break out of her self-imposed problems. And you are saying that this inability to break out is a virtue. You are praising her hell. You want her to continue in hell. If he is praising feminine qualities more, surely he is doing it to a masculine audience. I'm again repeating, you become identified with your masculinity because you find something abhorrent in femininity. The other gender arises only when you are identified with your gender. Go more on this. We also know in terms of psychology what it means to be a man. We also know what it means to be a woman. We also know that whenever there is this kind of partition, it is a disease. To be a man means to have an active and aggressive ego, which will be overtly violent. To be a woman means to have a passive ego, which will express itself in the form of jealousy, covert violence. But in either case, there would be violence coming out of a sense of insecurity and incompletion. The man thinks he is incomplete, so he attacks. The woman thinks that she is incomplete, so she possesses.
If the woman can be saved, it is only through true spirituality. Because spirituality alone can take you out of your body identification. We need women to be all right with themselves. We don't want women to be emotionally dependent or biologically dependent on men. We don't want women to seek a man to complete her identity. We don't want the woman to seek a man to complete her name.
Both are just objects of witnessing. It's just that one object appears as a material object and the other is just a mental object. When a woman passes you by, then the woman is a material object and the man that is born is in the mind. But both are born and simultaneously born. In the presence of the woman, the man becomes a man. In the presence of the man, the woman becomes even more womanly.
The man should not be at the center of the woman's world. By the way, if the men want to rule over women, let them rule. Let the men keep thinking of women. The women must be independent of the men. Be the user of the car, not the doll in the car. Knowledge must be your asset. Strength must be your asset. Exposure must be your asset. Money must be your asset. And overall, truth must be your asset. Not your breasts and hips. Spend time enriching yourself. Spend time gaining knowledge. Spend time skilling yourself.